Good evening, people. Good evening, people. Arno TV is back live on YouTube on this Friday evening. And I wasn't on here last night. Because it was my day off today, so I thought I'd have a few beers last night and give myself a little bit of a break, yeah? But, wow, a lot's happened, hasn't there, in the last 24 hours? A lot's happened, hasn't there? So let's go over to the internet. And let's show Arno TV viewers what these despicable, vile, abhorrent people that we speak about on this channel have been up to. Because there's been even more revelations about further parties that have come out today, hasn't there, over in Downing Street. These people are absolutely despicable, like we have been telling you all along. These people are an absolute disgrace, these people. How many were there? We'll start here in the Express, yeah? How many were there? Full timeline and dates of every Downing Street party. Allegations of further Downing Street parties have emerged on Thursday evening. Here's a full timetable of all the accusations that have been made so far. And the fresh claims of two parties held in Downing Street the night before the Queen sat alone at the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral have now been added to the list of alleged government events which breach COVID rules during the pandemic. The Prime Minister had already admitted earlier this week to attending an illegal gathering during the first national lockdown. So how many allegations are we aware of to this point? And these further allegations that have come out in the last 24 hours have been about this date, April the 16th, okay? Advisors and civil servants have now discovered that to have gathered after work for two separate events last year on April the 16th. The events were held to mark the departure of James Slack, Boris Johnson's former Director of Communications. Now, who's James Slack, apart from being Boris Johnson's former Director of Communications? Oh, that's right. James Slack, who is now the Sun newspaper deputy editor and former Downing Street Director of Communications. So this guy, James Slack, has sat on this story working for a national newspaper like the Sun since April of last year. And like I've told you, all of these people in the media have been working hand in hand with the government since the start of this pandemic. And this guy has known about this party that for his own leaving due since last April and has kept absolutely stum about it till now. He's another one of these people who has a lot to answer for, doesn't he? These people are a disgrace, an utter disgrace, and they're all working together like we've told you. And you know, at this event on April the 16th, it's been all over the news today that some quisling, one of their acolytes, was sent out during this event to a supermarket or an off-licence or whatever with a suitcase to fill it up with wine and booze to bring it back to the party. That is who these people are. They're an absolute disgrace. So I want people to remember that, you know, while we were all under lockdown and having to obey these draconian measures on our restrictions of movement and freedom, yeah, and we weren't allowed to see anybody, and as we've said many times, there are people that will be watching this that could not see a dying relative because of these rules. And these people were over in Downing Street, Westminster and Whitehall getting leathered and laughing at you and me, the British public. They have got utter contempt for us. These people, like we've been telling you, have a lot to answer for. Don't they? And these people, like we've told you, need to be dragged dragged into Parliament and need to face some serious questions about not only their behaviour, about who they've been working with, what agendas they've been pushing, and what they've been up to. These people are an utter disgrace. And if that wasn't bad enough today, there's been further revelations about more parties that have come out. Unbelievably, today, Boris Johnson's news live, head of COVID rules task force, held party in lockdown as number 10 has to apologise to the Queen. Foreign Secretary insists PM apology should be enough to draw a line under the scandal. The former Director General of the government's COVID task force has apologised over a gathering in the Cabinet Office for her leaving drinks during coronavirus restrictions days before Christmas in 2020. Kate Joseph, who is the Chief Executive of Sheffield City Council, said she was cooperating with a probe by the senior civil servant Sue Gray. So Sue Gray seems to have every time she seems to close the book on these parties that have gone on, she has to reopen it because of further allegations. These people are an absolute disgrace, and I hope the people of Sheffield put this woman to task and let our feelings known to this woman, because she's another one of these people who has a lot to answer for, doesn't she? And you remember me telling you in a video the other day that that this was allegedly been looked into by the Met Police, and me saying, well, I don't hold much open to that, or something to that effect, because what's gone on through this pandemic when any of these people have broken the rules is absolutely nothing, isn't it? And what do you think it says here in The Guardian? Oh, that's right. The Met Police won't investigate alleged number 10 lockdown party. Force says it does not look into flouting COVID restrictions a long time after they've taken place, yeah? So, do you think that if it was me or you that we're talking about, that we wouldn't be getting a knock on the door from the Met or whatever police force you happen to be in? These people are an utter disgrace, and like we've told you, these disgusting, vile, despicable people, they want to have a completely separate world to live in than we do. They want to put us under draconian measures, new laws, have us living in servitude to these people, while these people live in a completely separate world, while they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, break any rules, or bend any rules that they want, and nothing ever seems to happen to these people. That is what's going on. They're a disgrace, and they've been supported by the Met Police, quite clearly. We're not interested in looking into this. The Met Police will not investigate alleged parties held at Downing Street in an apparent breach of lockdown rules unless an upcoming inquiry finds evidence of criminality. And what do you think the likelihood of that is? Zero! These people are an absolute disgrace. The force said it did not normally investigate breaches of coronavirus regulations long after they are set to have taken place, yeah? And like I've just told you, if it was a video or something, or photographs surfaced about one of us online having a lockdown party and carrying on and breaking the rules, I'm sure something had been done about it. These people are an absolute disgrace. The senior civil servant, Sue Gray, is investigating allegations of parties held at Downing Street while the UK was in lockdown due to COVID-19. The force added that if this shows criminality took place, then the police force would reconsider its stance. And what do you think the likelihood of that is? Zero! Nothing's going to happen to these people, just like the whole way through this pandemic. These people, like we've told you, they've got a lot to answer for, and there's absolutely zero doubts about that anymore. These people, this whole system is a disgrace. To allow these people to operate like this while we were under draconian measures, laws, and we couldn't see our friends and dying relatives, and these people are allowed to go out and get suitcases full of booze to bring back to a party at Downing Street. Are you people taking this? And like I said the other day, anybody that's prepared now to listen to any of these people after all these kind of revelations have come out, well, good luck to you, because you're an absolute idiot if you listen to these people. They're an absolute disgrace. A disgrace, these people. That is what they are. And what else has come out? What else has been all over the news today? Because it's not looking good now, is it, for Prince Andrew? Is it? Is it? Because start hearing the Times about Prince Andrew. The Queen strips Prince Andrew of all military titles and royal patronages. And that is fantastic news as far as I'm concerned. Ex-serviceman had urged her to act over a civil sexual assault case. The Queen has stripped the Duke of York over his honorary military roles and royal patronages after a face-to-face meeting yesterday. As she moved to stop this sexual assault court case from further damaging the royal family. In a humiliating blow, Prince Andrew will no longer use his style of His Royal Highness in any official capacity. This man is an absolute disgrace, and it doesn't stop there, does it, for Prince Andrew today, does it? Prince Andrew, there's more of this in The Guardian. Prince Andrew loses military roles and use of HRH title. So he's been stripped. He's, like it was saying in that article we were talking about, that we're looking at the other day, I believe in The Guardian, they were talking about de-royaling him, weren't they? And that is what has happened to him, hasn't it? And it doesn't stop there, does it, for Prince Andrew? Does it? Because Prince Charles today, Prince Charles brushed off questions about Prince Andrew today, didn't he? As it says here in the Mail, Prince Charles brushes off questions about Andrew 24 hours after urging Queen to exile his brother. As disgraced Duke could find out this weekend whether Fergie and his daughters will be quizzed in the US sex assault lawsuit. Charles wouldn't ask questions while visiting the Haddo Country Park, Elton in Aberdeenshire today. The palace sources said that the ruthless and swift decision had been widely discussed within the royal family. The Duke of York will be banned from using the styling HRH in any official capacity, according to royal sources. News is a further blow for Andrew as he considers whether to press ahead with the trial or to settle with accuser. Experts say the Duke must do a deal for the sake of the Queen, who is entering her Platinum Jubilee year. He was spotted today in the back of a Range Rover while being driven from his home in Windsor Great Park. Prince Charles brushed off questions about his exiled brother Andrew amid reports of the disgraced Duke. Could find out this weekend whether Fergie and his daughters will be questioned by Virginia Giuffre's lawyers. The heir to the throne refused to speak about the crisis engulfing the Windsors after a US judge refused to throw out Andrew's sexual assault case and said it would proceed to a trial. Charles, known as the Duke of Rothesay when in Scotland, was asked about the scandal when visiting the Haddo Country Park in Ellen, Aberdeenshire. And there's a little video here of that encounter, so let's just turn the music down a moment and let's show you what our future monarch had to say when questioned about this. Let's just have a look, shall we? Let's just have a look at what our future head of state had to say when questioned about Andrew's involvement with Maxwell and Epstein and this whole trial. What did he have to say? looks like we've just got an act to skip through before we can get on to this. So obviously I don't want to breach any copyright rules. Let's just try and get onto this video. Is it going to load up? It doesn't look like it's going to load up. We don't need to see it because basically what he said was nothing. Zero is what he said. Zero. He gave no comment at all. That is what happened. And let's face it, why aren't these so-called journalists, yeah? Why aren't these so-called journalists out there, yeah? Why aren't they asking our future monarch about his relationship with Jimmy Savile? Have people forgotten about that? Have you? Because I haven't. This guy hung around with Savile for decades, didn't he? These people have been hanging around with these kind of vile individuals for years. So why is no journalist out there putting him on the spot about that? Because they don't want to ask those questions, do we? These people are an absolute disgrace. A disgrace, and it's getting worse, isn't it, for Andrew? Because there's been calls from the City of York to cut Prince Andrew's title, the Duke of York. And as a Yorkshireman myself, I couldn't support that more wholeheartedly. And I hope the City of York strip this disgusting, despicable individual of that title, representing that fantastic city. This man is an absolute disgrace, and he should be stripped of all his titles and all his entitlement for what he's been involved in. This man is an utter disgrace. An utter disgrace. And Virginia Giuffre praises the ruling to allow Prince Andrew's lawsuit to go to trial. Giuffre says that she will continue to expose the truth and seek justice from those who hurt me and others. Virginia Giuffre has praised the court ruling enabling her sexual assault civil lawsuit against the Duke of York to proceed to trial. And she said she will continue to expose the truth. Giuffre wrote on her Twitter she was pleased with the ruling, adding, "I am glad I will have the chance to continue to expose the truth, and I am deeply grateful to my extraordinary legal team. Their determination helps me seek justice from those who hurt me and so many others. My goal has always been to show the truth and to show the truth. Should I say that the rich and powerful are not above the law and must be held accountable. I do not walk this path alone, but alongside countless other survivors of sexual abuse and trafficking." The Manhattan federal judge, Louis Kaplan, dismissed the motion by Prince Andrew's lawyers on Wednesday to have the civil case thrown out after they argued Giuffre had waived her right to pursue the royal by signing a confidential settlement agreement in 2009 with the disgraced late financier Jeffrey Epstein. And remember me telling you the lengths that these people will go to try and cover up the truth. Like we told you, Andrew's lawyers were trying to use this sweetheart deal that Epstein secured in 2009 down in Florida while he was noncing poor unfortunate girls. That is the lengths that these people will go to cover up the truth. These disgusting, despicable, vile, abhorrent people, like we've told you, have a lot to answer for. Don't they? Don't they? This is who these people are. And it doesn't stop there for Andrew, because lawyers for 8 Epstein victims says their clients could appear with Virginia Giuffre in a Prince Andrew trial. Los Angeles lawyer Lisa Bloom said one or more of the women could waive their right to anonymity. Virginia Giuffre may be backed in a sexual assault civil case against Prince Andrew by several other victims of Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring, according to the lawyer representing 8 women in the late financiers who the late financier also abused. In an interview with the Los Angeles attorney, Lisa Bloom raised the prospect of some of her clients appearing as a witness in the trial and that one or more may waive their right to anonymity to do so. Asked if some of her clients could possibly appear on Miss Guthray's witness list, Miss Bloom said, absolutely yes. And that is fantastic news. And like I've said before, isn't it absolutely fantastic news that at least in the American judicial system, these people, well, it's appearing so, are going to be held to account for the things that they've done. Because let's face it, we can't put that trust in our own legal system, can we? Investigating the wrongdoings of the people that are supposed to be in charge of us. Because like the Met Police, they're not interested in looking at any of these people if they've done anything wrong. But it looks like that weight doesn't, their entitlement doesn't carry that much weight in America. This is fantastic news as far as I'm concerned. And I hope these people get exactly what's coming to them. And it doesn't stop there for Prince Andrew, does it? Because it appears Gillam Maxwell might have had a change of heart about naming names. So, in The Independent, Gillam Maxwell no longer fighting to keep names sealed from Virginia Guthray's lawsuit. She does not wish to address those objections, writes Laura Menninger, one of Maxwell's attorneys. Gillam Maxwell is no longer fighting to hide information, including 8 names from Virginia Guthray's lawsuit against her. Maxwell's lawyers say lawyers for Miss Guthray, who has accused Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein of sexually abusing her, have long fought to unseal the names of 8 John Does mentioned in their 2015 civil lawsuit. Maxwell's attorney pushed back, but on Tuesday they appeared to have given up the fight. After careful review of detailed objections submitted by non-party Does 17, 53, 54, 55, 73, 93 and 151, counsel for Gillam Maxwell writes to inform the court that she does not wish to further address those objections. One of Maxwell's lawyers, Laura Menninger, wrote to the judge Loretta Presker on Wednesday, the fact that Maxwell is no longer opposing the unsealing does not necessarily mean the names will be released. But Miss Guthray's legal team is still working to get those John Does identified. And, like we've told you, the reason why all these people have been colluding in the background like Schwab and Isabel Maxwell through the Daily Mail and Prince Andrew trying to shut these trials and this whole story down is because of all the other high-profile people that are involved in this whole sordid, despicable, disgraceful, abhorrent affair. That is why, like it says here in the New York Times, Bill Gates met with Jeffrey Epstein many times despite his past, didn't he? Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender who committed suicide in prison, managed to lure an astonishing array of rich and powerful and famous men into his orbit. They were billionaires like Leslie Wexner and Leon Black, politicians like Bill Clinton and Bill Richardson, Nobel laureates like Murray Gell-Mann and Frank Wilczek, and even royals like Prince Andrew. This is what is going on, and this is why these people are trying to shut all this down, because of all the other people that are involved in this whole disgusting affair. And we showed you that article in the Express the other day. People like Tony Blair are in Epstein's black book. This is why they're trying to shut all this down. These people will stop at nothing to cover up the truth. These people, like I've told you, have a lot to answer for, don't they? They're an absolute disgrace. And, like we've told you, this juror, Scotty David, this guy who first came out and gave an interview to the press, that's put this whole Gillam Maxwell trial in jeopardy. You know, there may be a retrial now. It's put this whole thing in chaos. Are we led to believe that out of all the press that have been following this whole story the whole way around the world, that this juror, Scotty David, just happened to speak to the Daily Mail, yeah? The paper that's working hand in hand with Klaus Schwab, Isabel Maxwell, Prince Andrew and Gillam Maxwell, yeah? Just happened to give the interview to them. And like I've told you on many occasions, the reason why I call the Daily Mail Klaus Schwab's friends is because Klaus Schwab used to be the director of the Daily Mail from April 1998 to December 2004. Didn't he? And when all this story broke about this in 2015, where was Prince Andrew when this all broke? Oh, that's right. He was over in Davos at the World Economic Forum with Klaus Schwab, wasn't he? And I'm suggesting that is when the conversations began between Klaus Schwab, Isabel Maxwell and Gillam Maxwell about if any of this ever went into a courtroom, how they would use the Daily Mail to try and crush the stories, crush the trials, etc. That is what I'm suggesting. And for people out there that think that Arno TV puts out conspiracy theory and things like that, who's Klaus Schwab got working for him? He just happens to have working for him Isabel S. Maxwell, doesn't he? Gillam Maxwell's sister. Like I've told you, all of these people are working in the background to crush this story, these trials, because of the can of worms that it opens up and all the other high-profile people that are involved in this, who are all, by the way, working hand in hand with Klaus Schwab, aren't they? That is what is going on. These people are an absolute disgrace. And these people think we're absolutely stupid, these people think we're absolutely stupid and that we would never notice that all these people were working together. These people, like I've told you, they have a lot to answer for, don't they? A lot to answer for. So when I say that, I'm not saying it just for effect. These people, like we've been telling you, not only are the people that we speak about on this channel, not only are they all working with people like Klaus Schwab, and they're all working hand in hand, erecting this new multilateral global system that all these people want to put into place to have us living in servitude to. Yeah, not only are they all doing that, but all these people that we speak about on this channel, they're all involved in trying to cover this up. These people are an absolute disgrace, and there is no denying it anymore. So I'm going to wrap this broadcast up for tonight, but I want to thank everybody who watches these live broadcasts that we started putting out on Arno TV. I want to thank everybody that likes and subscribes to this channel. Thank you very much. And for those people that are new to Arno TV and are liking the content that we put out, then please like and subscribe to the channel. And once you do, ring the notification bell so I can inform you guys out there about future videos that I'm going to put out, future live streams that I'm going to be putting out, about all these kind of people and what the hell these people have been up to and what these people think they're doing. Because through this pandemic, there's one thing you can count on. I am not going to stay silent while these kind of people rip up democracy and throw it in the dustbin. Because be under no illusions, people, that is exactly what these people are doing. As I've told you, 2022, it's going to change this year. We can no longer continue with a system where we have these despicable type of people that are allowed to operate like this. Look at our politicians. Look at the royals. They're all a disgrace. They're an absolute disgrace. And as far as I'm concerned, in 2022, let's hope that all of these people are made to answer some serious questions about what the hell they've been up to, because these people, like I've told you, have a lot to answer for, don't they? And there is absolutely No doubts about that anymore, is there? These people, like we've been telling you, they're an utter disgrace.